Things just got worse and worse and worse as the night went on. Again, valiant effort down the stretch for the Bucks. Just too little, too late. Let's go down and let's see what Coach Fletch and the rest of the crew has to say. As always, go Bulls. So let's head into the locker room right now and see what the guys have to say about that one. Wow. Where do the Buccaneers go from here? What an incredible atmosphere. What a good win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They snapped a 7-game winning streak. How we feeling, Bucs Nation? It's time to party, baby.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Recher podcast. It is Rays opening day. How excited are you? I cannot wait. 4:10 first pitch today against the Colorado Rockies. It's actually the first game of the day for Major League Baseball. We are jacked up. We are ready to go. Shout out to David Terry, always showing the love. Thank you, David. You are the man. Appreciate you very, very much. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms, on Facebook, on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. I am everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. Had a little bit of a scare here. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to get online because the power in the house wasn't working. I go, oh my gosh, we got to get online. It's Rays opening day. We got to be able to talk some Rays baseball, and we're going to do it at 12:15 today with the greatest catcher in Rays history. Toby Hall is going to join the program here. Can't wait to catch up with him and see what he's up to. His son Tatum playing, balling out himself, and also get his memories from opening day and his thoughts on the Rays and the stadium and everything that's going on. So the great Toby Hall is going to join us at 12:15 today. Of course, we're going to get into MLB opening day yesterday. Some incredible games, incredible outcomes. We saw the Yankees and the Brewers kick it off. We got a little hairy there for New York at the end. Devin Williams facing his old team, but he was able to corral it, get back in, and to be able to do the job. But still, that's how you know baseball's back, when people start sweating it out, when closers aren't doing their job. After Toby Hall joins us at 12:30 today, we're going to talk some Lightning hockey. What was it like to be at Amalie Arena last night for Mikhail Sergachev's return, for Ryan McDonough's 1,000th game, for Braden Point's 300th goal, an 8-0 slobber knocker last night at Amalie? They beat the absolute dog crap out of the Utah Hockey Club. I felt so bad for Mikhail Sergachev after the game. At 12:30 today, I'm going to tell you what happened with Mikhail Sergachev after the game last night at Amalie Arena. You're not going to want to miss that. He's a class act. He's a class act. At 1 o'clock today, Coach Bryan Hodgson, he was introduced as the new USF men's basketball coach today. We'll hear from him. I asked him a very important question about not just being a coach, but a leader of young men. That'll be at 1 o'clock today. 1:15, March Madness, Sweet 16 recap and preview. Arkansas so close last night. That was the upset I picked. That was the one game out of the four I thought we'd have an upset, and I just missed it. Texas Tech came back. We'll get into that, and also the games tonight. I know there's a lot of people wondering who is going to be the four teams to join the winners from last night in the Elite Eight, and then at 1:25, we'll have the starting lineups for the Tampa Bay Rays and Colorado Rockies for you right here on the program. Of course, I got the Ryan Callahan event tonight at Armature Works. If you want to contribute in any way, go to RyanCallahanFoundation.org. Saw him at Amalie Arena yesterday as well, but really, really cool stuff there for the Tampa Bay Lightning. This is just such a hot time right now for Team Tampa Bay. You have the good vibes from USF men's basketball. You have USF football right around the corner. The Bucs getting all these players back. It looks like they're primed to make a really good selection in the upcoming NFL draft and really be a factor, not just in the division, but the entire NFC. It's Rays opening day. The Lightning with two absolute beatdowns the last two games. 6-1 on Tuesday night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. 8-0 last night, a 14-1 aggregates over these last couple of games. Ryan McDonough is going to be honored tomorrow afternoon, before the game against the New York Islanders. That is going to be a lot of fun as well. Bolts have to keep on winning, keeping those good vibes going. And the Rays can do their part today against the Colorado Rockies. Ryan Pepio on the mound for your Tampa Bay Rays. Can't wait to see how they formulate the lineup to get the most out of this offense who, listen, we all know it's no surprise. The 2024 season, It was bad. It was the worst in team history. Hopefully they will turn it around starting today. But some really great action on the program, or excuse me, really great action in the MLB yesterday to kick things off. Again, Brewers, Yankees, they started everything around 3:12 yesterday was around the first pitch. We saw a bunch of solo home runs. Anthony Volpe got on the board. We saw Austin Wells' first leadoff home run from a catcher in MLB history on opening day. Like, that is nuts to even think about that. And it got a little hairy at the end. Devin Williams, and I said this when the Yankees first acquired him. Power pitching usually wins in the playoffs. And I have a tough time thinking that a guy that is so heavily reliant on that changeup, if he's not throwing it for strikes and guys aren't chasing it, that could be a problem. I mean, when you think about all the best closers in the game, they're all throwing heat. There's not many guys. I mean, I know Eric Gagne was the guy that threw the changeup a lot for the Dodgers many years ago, but you just think power arms out of the bullpen. You look at any of the closers. Look at Emmanuel Clase for Cleveland. You look at Pete Fairbanks from the Tampa Bay Rays, right? These are guys that throw hard. So I have my reservations when it comes to Devin Williams. The changeup is awesome. Against lower teams, against teams that aren't that great, I don't think he'll have an issue. But you saw yesterday against his former club that knew what that changeup looked like. That is a grinding type of team that is going to take those at-bats and foul off close pitches and tough pitches. Those are the kind of teams you're going to face in the playoffs. Teams like Cleveland, teams like Houston, teams like Boston, maybe even teams like the Rays. We'll see. So that could be one thing when you're talking about the entire equation of AL East, AL East hierarchy, right? Could that be a difference? Could the difference be the bullpen? And we know the Rays are going to be ready. You know that Rays bullpen, regardless of any of the question marks, we know every single year that Rays bullpen is going to find a way. Jeff Taylor, appreciate you. I'm optimistic as well about the Rays. As long as they can stay healthy, they got to be able to hit the baseball. And we've already seen it yesterday when you look back at some of the performances in the division. I mean, look no further than the Orioles. A 12-2 victory over Jose Barrios and the Toronto Blue Jays. Tyler O'Neill. What is it about this guy? Homering in his 6th straight opening day. It doesn't matter if he's with St. Louis or Boston or now with Baltimore. That guy, whatever it is, next year, let's remind each other to put some money on Tyler O'Neill hitting a home run on opening day. 6 years in a row, a 12-2 victory for Baltimore. And that one, Alec Boehm and Bryce Harper lead the Phillies to a 7-3 victory over the Washington Nationals in that NL East showdown. I really like what I saw last year from Willie Abreu, and I know there's a lot of young players out there for Boston, these hot prospects, right? The Anthonys, the Campbells of the world, right? You're looking at these guys, all right, that's the future. But there's some good players on this team right now. And when you have a team that picked up Alex Bregman to go with Devers, and you have a manager in Cora that knows what it takes to win, Boston is a scary team to me. It really is, because if they figure out how good they are, and they know it, and they do the little things right, I think they could be a problem. With Crochet at the top, you have a guy like Chapman in the back end, then all the guys that are, tough at bats, what Story and Yoshida and some of these other guys. Watch out for Boston, man. I think they have just as good a chance of coming in first as they do in last. Our Sunshine State brethren, the Marlins, picked up a win 5-4 over the Piratas yesterday. Giants 6-4 over the Reds. Wilmer Flores with a big home run there. Ian Jabot, former Ray pitcher, takes the loss in that one. So one of the most popular memes yesterday was, oh, wow, the Chicago White Sox have already been eliminated from the playoffs. Well, joke's on you if you're one of those people that were disseminating that information. Chicago White Sox are 1-0. They're tied for first place in the AL Central. And they didn't just kind of win. They blasted Yusei Kikuchi and the Angels with an 8-1 victory there. Even Andrew Benintendi getting in on the fun with the home run. Watch out for the White Sox. No, they're not going there. I think it's more of an, that's kind of more of an example of what is wrong with the Los Angeles Angels. And it's crazy to think that they're just wasting Mike Trout away once again. He was in the lineup 0 for 2 with a walk. You get Tim Anderson out there. He got a nice response returning to Chicago. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Yeah, if you're an Angels fan, I don't see how the season is going to go well. One of the best games yesterday was the Guardians and the Royals, a 7-4 victory for Cleveland in 10. A 2-run double from guess who? Kyle Manzardo in the 10th to extend the lead. That may be one of the worst deals that we've seen if Manzardo keeps this up and continues to be able to swing it for Cleveland. That Kyle Manzardo deal for Aaron Savale. And I know people are going to say, well, you have Yandy and now you have Trey Morgan and, Xavier Isaac is in the pipeline. I understand that, but Kyle Manzardo is doing it right now. So I don't like to have discussions about deals that work or don't work when all you're telling me is, well, there's a prospect here. A prospect is a prospect. I want to see a guy. If you're going to tell me that deal was a good deal because you have Yandy Diaz, fine. He's got proof of concept in the big leagues. I don't ever want to hear that it was a good trade to get rid of a guy because you have a prospect waiting in the wings at that spot. I don't necessarily jive with that. You want to see the reason why? Look at Willie Adames and Wander Franco. I think Wander Franco would have been better at third base. Or you could have put Willie at third base. And then maybe Junior comes up. Maybe he's at second, right? So I don't ever think that is a great thing to be able to start getting rid of talent. Doesn't make much sense at all. Again, if you want to get your questions in, got to chime in on the super chat. That's the way that we're doing it from now on. Unless we get lucky and trying to switch it up a little bit, to the guarantee that your question or your comment gets read, hit us up on the super chat. Every little bit helps here on the program. Also last night, Mets, Astros, 3-1 victory for Houston. And what a difference a year makes. Listen, I'm not hating, but I could see this going really bad for the Mets this year. I could see this going absolutely sideways. I mean, Clay Holmes was your opening day starter, the guy that was the closer for the Yankees last year that they had to take out from that spot because he wasn't getting the job done. They put Luke Weaver. Soto came up in a spot last year early on in the season against Hader and hit an opposite field base hit for the Yankees, helped them, lead them to a victory. He strikes out last night after going ahead 3-0. Hader falls behind 3-0, and then Soto strikes out. And for all those people that talk about a guy like Juan Soto and the Yankees are so much worse and blah, 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 blah. Listen, all of that money is going to go to a guy that eventually is just going to be a hitter. He's not the greatest fielder. He's not a great base runner. And let's say his skills drop off a little bit and he doesn't hit well, or he picks up an injury or two. It's going to go sideways. It's going to go south quick for Juan Soto and the Mets. So when you look at everybody, oh, look how happy they look in the dugout and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I don't care how happy you look in the dugout. They're not going to look all that happy when the team starts losing games. So I thought that was very revealing. Pods with a big win over the Braves, 7-4 there. Cards 5-3 over the Twins. The Dodgers and the Tigers. I thought Skubal might have been able to sneak up and win that battle of the lefties against Blake Snell. But Blake gets on board. This could be an easy Cy Young year for Blake Snell. Everybody's going to be talking about Glass now and Yamamoto and Sasaki and Ohtani and all these guys. And Blake can just come in there and win and win and win. There's going to be a freak as the Dodgers move to 3-0. There's going to be kind of like a freak anomaly in that starting rotation where somebody does really well or somebody does really poor. I think Snell has just this ability because everybody's going to be focused on everybody else sliding under the radar. Think about how much money he signed for. People aren't even going to be talking about Blake Snell, and this guy's going to come out, and before you know it, he'll be like 15-3, and everybody's like, "What the hell, man?" But you're playing there with that lineup. I mean, good God, the Dodgers. It's going to be the Dodgers versus the field. It looks like this year. Cubs with a win, 10-6 over the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm bullish on the Cubs. I think this is a year for them to finally kind of take that next step forward. I like the aggression going out and getting Kyle Tucker, getting Ryan Presley. Now's the time. Now's the time to prove to everybody that you should be real contenders in the NL Central. Good start for them, obviously, with the Brewers losing to the Yankees as well. And then the Mariners and the A's 4-2 there. Seattle wins that one. Keep an eye on that ALS matchup. If they can get any kind of offensive production there in the Pacific Northwest, they certainly have the pitching. So keep an eye on those guys. The M's and Miranda Arena could be a big problem. This guy was, and in my mind, I don't think there's no discussion. He's the greatest catcher in Rays history and a good friend of the program, the one and only Toby Hall. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's up, brother? I was trying to get to the house, but
You're good.
I still got like 10 minutes, but all good.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine, buddy. Thanks so much for joining me today. What are some of your favorite memories of a day like this? You wake up and you're like, man, I've been busting my ass all season, all these workouts, the weightlifting, the running, catching 9 million bullpens from 5,000 different pitchers in spring training to finally wake up today and know that you're going to be catching a starter and you know you're going to be up there taking ABs against another pitcher. I mean, what is today like for a big leaguer?
Yeah, especially the night before. I mean, just trying to get the proper sleep, and you know, I think every year I still had butterflies, so it never gets old. But once you get out there and you get to the stadium early and get prepared for the night, and yeah, it's exciting.
What was do you have a memory, your favorite memory from opening day, whether it's a hit or a person you faced or just going out there, your first one maybe?
Not really. I mean,
Yeah.
It kind of all blurred in together. I mean, when you really think, it just, some of the opening days, it really, after it's done, it's like, wow, thank goodness, you know, now we got 161 more. So it's like, opening day really is a blur.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going into it.
Yeah, there's so many different like announcements too. You're on the line, you're doing so many different things, and then it's almost like, all right, well, now the real season starts, and it's got to be like a little bit of a natural kind of letdown, right? Because there's so much pomp and circumstance for opening day. You don't necessarily see that for all the other sports. What do you think about the Rays team this year, man? I mean, obviously the offense is the big question mark. Everybody's wondering if they're going to be able to bounce back from the worst offensive season in team history last year. But we know what the pitching can bring. Unfortunately, Shane McClanahan goes down. Not as bad as we initially thought, but just what's your overall perception on what you think you're going to see from your former club this season?
I mean, if they take advantage of all these home games at the beginning, especially, I mean, the ball flies there at that stadium. So, and they get a nice little breeze if it's going on Del Mabry there. And so if offense takes advantage of these games, these home games while they're there, I think it's going to benefit them. And when Shane gets healthy and gets back, and I mean, Junior, that Caminero, he's a stud. So it's like they have a lot of great pieces, and obviously they always have that pitching depth. But
What do you think about? Have you played at Steinbrenner Field before, back when it was Legends?
Oh yeah. I'm a lot of spring training games there against the Yankees, and I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, for what they just got doing, those last 5 days, trying to, put the lipstick on it and doing everything that they had to do. It's pretty impressive by yesterday, and then when I get down there today, it'll be nice. It's going to be weird, no doubt, but it'll be fun to see.
So you're going over there today?
Yeah, I'll be down there. I try not to miss opening days, so it'll be fun.
Yeah,
it won't be 72 degrees like the Trop is.
Yeah, I remember a couple years ago we were inside the Trop. All of a sudden, I was walking out. Somebody grabbed my shirt, and I turned around. It was you. I was like, "This mother sucker don't miss, man. He's here, opening day." What's your whole take, Toby? Because obviously, have you driven past Tropicana Field recently?
Yeah, it's really eerie.
Yeah, man, it's freaking weird, man. I took my parents over there, and I'm like, gosh, dang, man, it's so strange to be able to,
Yeah.
And it sucks, man, because we want there to be some kind of resolution here, and I'm sure you hear it, man, because me, I'm at freaking college games, I'm at UT, I'm at high school games, and everybody's like, Jay, what do you know? What do you know? And
yeah.
It's wild, man. What's your just take on the whole stadium thing? Because it sucks that that's on the, you know what I mean? That's just in the distance for a day like today because we're excited about baseball, but it's kind of hard to switch gears because we've been talking about the stadium for so freaking long.
But we've been talking about a stadium since my rookie year, so
that's true.
I mean, they had designs of a tent over Al Lang. I mean, there was there's just been so much talk about. I've been to a couple things representing them over Ybor, and I just hope it gets done. And baseball needs to be here, and I don't know. It's frustrating. I know you hear it all the time, like I do, and I wish we had the answers.
And you have such a unique experience too, because like you played here, but then you saw your boy play and come up through the ranks and play here too. And Toby, I mean, you know this, man. I have these conversations with guys that you played against, guys that played in the big league that grew up here. You know, the Sammy Militellos of the world, the Gary Sheffields, the Fred McGriffs of the world. You know, guys, and they're like, Jay, baseball can work here. And you've seen it, man. You've seen it in the pro ball level. You've seen it travel ball. You've seen it when your son playing high school. And like this is even though the numbers may not reflect it when it comes to the attendance for the Trop or what have you, like baseball is in the DNA in this city, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when you really look back at, all the history and everything that's been, going back to Babe Ruth and everything that they've done in this city. And, yeah, I mean, it's a baseball town. They just need to get all this figured out.
What do you think about, I want to ask you about the Dodgers, man. I was just mentioning Snell before I got John. Like, is that good for baseball? Is it bad for baseball? Like, there's just so many. It's every free agent they go there, and for years it was like, all right, the Yankees are the evil empire. I can't believe how much money they spend, but the Dodgers are blowing anything that they've ever done out of the water. Is that good for ball? Is that bad for ball? What do you think?
I mean, my era, my generation, or my time, especially in the big leagues, it was always the Yankees. So now it's you're getting a little taste of. I don't know. I think it's great for baseball. It was funny. We just got back from Arizona. Our son's out there with the Brewers, and so we went to a Dodger game out there, and I saw Friedman. I go, just congratulations on. The last time I saw him was actually when I got traded to the Dodgers. So.
Oh my God.
So I don't know. It just, watching that game last night, it's good for the game. I mean, they're over there on the West Coast, so. It just brings a lot of national attention too, especially with the Tani and a lot of those big name guys from Japan and Korea.
How's your boy doing, man? Like, how was being out Arizona? I've been trying to follow him as much as I can, man. And minor league baseball is so great because you find different ways. They really put a great effort into like social media, and then the stats are way better now than they were, let's say 10, 15 years ago, where minor leagues, it was tough to keep track of minor league guys. But how's Tatum doing?
Yeah, so far so good. We'll see where he goes. I think he's going to go back to high A, but they signed a first rounder last year, first baseman. So we'll see what's going on. It's a business. He looks great. So he's just enjoying that journey.
What about your daughter? She was still doing, last time I talked to you, what was she doing? She was rounding up, what was she doing? Pigs or cows, or what was she doing?
Yeah, we went through 12 cows. She wants to be a large animal vet. So now she's at Colorado State University doing animal science. So yeah, we're empty nesters now. So now I'm going to manage this summer up in Chicago.
Nice.
For that Frontier League, that Windy City Thunderbolts.
Sweet, man. I was going to ask you, what the hell are you doing now, man? Empty nesters. For years you've been, and it's so funny because it seems like every time I talk to you, you're like, Jay, I gotta go I gotta go practice here. I gotta go to this. My girl's showing this here, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. You got to kind of figure out, like, what the hell am I doing with my time now, right?
It's so true. It's I was going to coach and get into it when I retired, but Tatum started getting good at baseball. I didn't want to leave my daughter around. I just didn't want to. I needed to be home for the kids, and my whole goal was once they got doing their own thing, then I'll get back into coaching and start that journey and see if I even enjoyed doing it. So we'll see this summer.
Do you think that it's going to lead, like, let's say you do like it, you think you want to try to get back in, big time pro ball, maybe coaching the big leagues?
Yeah. I mean, if the opportunity comes, it's one of those things where the nice thing about that Frontier League, a lot of those guys got released from affiliate ball and they're there trying to get back. So, it's an MLB partner league. So it's all ran by the same stuff. And, I gotta know all the rules and get my feet wet before someone calls and says, "Come on up."
What it's funny because like as a catcher that you look at so many guys over the years that have been a manager. What is it about the catcher position that enables guys to be such good managers? Because I've always said like it's because you're looking at the game completely different. There's 8 guys looking in one direction and you're looking in the other direction. And I feel like that kind of perspective and point of view just makes you look at the game in totality rather than just what you're doing. But you also you don't have to worry about catching something 98 and a foul tip going off the inside of your leg. You know what I mean? Like it's just completely different. What do you think as a former catcher that gives guys that are backstops the kind of the leg up?
I just think all the that we had to do, studying every hitter and the pitchers that we have, what pitches they should throw to certain pitcher or hitters, and I don't know. I just think we're always in tuned in the game, and we're a little more laid back and kind of can juggle, 25 guys and coaches. So I don't know. It's a little niche, I guess.
Who is like I want to say quirky or unique. Who is the most unique personality that you've ever had to deal with when it comes to a pitcher? Because I don't know what it is, with pitcher. Like my best friend was a hockey goalie growing up. Just a different cat, man. Every baseball guy that I played with that was a left-handed pitcher was just a different dude. I don't know what it was. That was the guy that ate the sandwiches the weird way. He was just a different guy. He didn't know how to speak to women. Like it was just, who was that one pitcher?
Sideways a little bit.
Hat sideways. Yeah, it's just like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Just get on the board like everybody else.
Yeah.
Who was that guy for you? Was there one pitcher that stood out?
Here.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. You kind of like stop and go on me here. Hold on one second. Let me remove you. Get back in. There you go. There you go. So who was that unique pitcher that you've been with over the years that was just like totally different than everybody else? Oh, I think I'm losing you.
I don't know. I mean, they're all everybody has such a different.
Right.
You hear me now?
Yeah, you're kind of this. It's a little spotty, brother. I'll make sure it's not on my end. There you go. You said they're all kind of quirky and weird in their own way. Oh. All right, we're gonna have to. I think we lost him. Oh wait, there you go. There you go, pal. There we go. We got you. Man, it just keeps stopping and going. It might be my connection. All right. Well, Toby, if you can hear me, my brother. This is what happens when my internet connection because of the power here. All right. Well, we appreciate the man, the man, the myth, the legend. All right. We lost you, brother. Thank you, buddy. Let me text him real quick. I just want to be lost you. All good. Thank you so much for your time. And all right. That's what happens sometimes. Modern technology. I love talking to Toby Hall, man. Such a wealth of knowledge. He's just such a freaking awesome guy. And oh, wait, you're gonna try to get him back. There you go. All right, we're in the house. We'll finish the discussion then because you're in the house. Yeah. So you were just saying sorry because people wanted to know. No, nobody in particular. You're saying as a pitcher that's all quirky. They're just kind of all like that.
I think so. I mean, I guess when I was with the Dodgers, I think the most one was Greg Maddux. So
what was that like? Because I saw something the other day where Bobby Cox wanted him to walk Luis Gonzalez, and he's like, "I'll make him pop out to third on the second pitch." And Chipper Jones tells the story, and then second pitch he freaking pops up. And then I saw another one with Eduardo Perez where he let Jeff Bagwell hit a home run in the regular season just so we could strike his ass out in the playoffs. Like he's like, was he like that even then? Like he's thinking on a totally different plane than just normal pitchers.
I mean, we didn't even have signs. Like it was how I threw the ball back to him, how he caught it was the next pitch. So,
so describe that. So like, what did he catch? Like with his glove down, his glove up? Like, I don't understand that.
so like if you caught it like this, he always said, don't throw it back hard. And
Okay.
so if he caught it this way, it'd be change up, cutter, curve, like it just how he caught it. So I couldn't, and I always love firing it back. with him, I just had to kind of throw it in there and read what he did. So I mean, he's a different cat. That's why he's, I always say there's single A, double A, triple A, and then big leagues is 4A, and then these guys that get plaques in Cooperstown are 5A. And he's one of those guys that, I mean, I don't even think I broke a sweat catching him.
Shit, he might have been 6 or 7A, bro. He's on another level. How do you see the AL East shaking out this year, man? You think the Rays, Yankees, Boston, Toronto, Baltimore, how do you think it's going to shake out?
I mean, they're all stacked. I mean,
yeah, man.
When you talk about a pretty competitive group, any day, any given game is going to be tough. So, I mean, they got their work cut out for them. So it's just, but I think everybody else does too.
The catcher position, how do you think it's evolved? Because I mean, I look at something even as basic as, remember the knee savers? Everything was knee savers a couple years ago. Everybody had them. And now nobody has them. So it's just, and now guys are going down to a knee, right? Guys go down to a knee. They try to get that strike on the bottom of the zone and try to pull it up. And then you see guys can't block balls, right? You see guys struggling throwing guys out at times. And it's just like, it's kind of weird. What's important for catching in 1 year? Because 5 or 10 years, it just seems like it's completely different.
Tell you what, my knees would feel a lot better if I can just catch on one knee in my career.
Right.
Interesting. Like, I mean, we'd work countless hours of just blocking, side to side. I mean, we're similar to, hockey goalies. You got to get side to side, up and down. And now the framing, I mean, Tatum got drafted as a catcher. They turned me into the first baseman because I didn't know how to teach him how to, do the one knee thing. And it was crazy. The other day, Adam Wainwright came out and said something about like pitchers now. It's almost like if you're trying to play darts and then they move the dartboard down and then they move it back up and you're trying to hit a bullseye, and it's like they have to be spot on. And now catchers are, moving their glove back in the zone. But I had an umpire back early, like in single A, and we called it framing, like we would try back in the zone. He goes, every time you move that glove, you're telling me it's a ball.
Yeah.
So I go, all right, well, but now they do it. I mean, they practice an hour just doing it.
Every pitch. So now it's just like they're trying to change the pattern for the umpire, right? His habit to be like, all right, just get used to my glove moving rather than, all right, hit me on the spot right on the black and see if that'll make a difference.
It's just me too, like runners on third, and that's an earned run. I mean, that could be the game-winning run that dictates. I took a lot of pride making sure that guy didn't score, and now it's like, okay, there's one run.
Yeah, and guys just give them away. Guys give them away because they want to frame that ball underneath. What do you think about the possibility of the robot umps?
Out in Arizona, we were watching. I mean, it's pretty quick.
Okay.
But the fans loved it. I mean, the fans
really?
got, and they'll heckle the umpire when they do get it wrong, or I mean, the game's going to be a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
As far as, but it kind of takes away the whole. I mean, they try to teach everybody to have a good eye. So like, ball 4, but he rung you up on it. That's a crucial part too. So, I think it should be with 3-2 counts.
Okay.
Early in the count, big deal. Umpire gets 1, you get 1, but getting rung up on ball 4 is not a good taste.
What do you think we'll ever get to the automatic strike zone where it'll just be all robots?
I don't know. I hope not. It takes away the part of the game.
It does. I'm with you.
But
that relationship's special, isn't it? Isn't that special? Because like between you and the umpire and framing and the pitcher and a guy giving you a little bit, like going into the game, like, hey man, right-handed batters, I'm not getting anything inside. Lefties, hey, it might give me a little bit over here. Like that's the game within the game that people that automatically say I want robot umpires, like that's a little nuance that you have to learn as well. That you got to try to win that aspect of the game too, right?
And a lot of people think baseball's boring. It takes too long, and now they sped up the game and they're doing all these different rules. But if you got robots out there and you're looking up at the scoreboard to see if it was a ball or strike, that takes away. I mean, they already take away the collisions at home plate. 12 concussions later. I mean, I'm glad they kind of did that for the catchers, but it's just the excitement of all these different things, and it's I don't know. It would take away.
Yeah, Buster Posey hurts his knee, and they want to change everything. Toby Hall gets 12 concussions. Nobody bats a damn eye.
Exactly.
I'm writing that in my book. I got your back on that one. He is Toby Hall, the greatest catcher in Rays history. I appreciate your time, my brother. Thank you so much. Enjoy the game today, and we'll talk soon, buddy.
I'll see you around, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Man. See you, buddy. Toby Hall, my guy. Unbelievable. That's good stuff. He's right on the money. He is right on the money there. I get what people say when they're talking about the automatic strike zone. As a guy that coached, a guy that played, a guy that umpired, my dad umpired. I don't like that. I like the interaction, man. I like the back and forth. I don't know, man. I get a little worried when we start giving all these jobs to computers and robots and stuff like that. Like human error is part of life. Human error is part of the game, right? We do have replays for certain things, but man, we got to be very, very careful when we start doing stuff like that for sure. All right, so good stuff. We'll give you the starting lineups. We'll talk some more baseball in a little bit. Last night at Amalie Arena, what an incredible night. Mikhail Sergachev. Did you guys see the return video from Mikhail Sergachev? Let's play it for you right quick because I know a lot of people wanted to see it and some people missed it. And if you missed it, don't worry, we'll play it for you right here. There was one from Mac as well, but I think Mikhail Sergachev, and we're going to hear from both these guys in a second. But if you missed the Mikhail Sergachev return video, we got it for you right here on the Jay Recher podcast for you. The return video that we were all waiting for. Mikhail Sergachev returns to Amalie Arena.
Sergachev right now, a huge trade as far as the Lightning are concerned. It's a terrific move, a strong move for the Lightning. Nothing but great things. He's big, he can play offense, he can play defense, he can power play, but no account. He's good to be happy to play. I think that another we can make a team play by game. I think we're each other. I think it's an option. That's it. How's it going, buddy? Nice to meet you. I like my first. I like cats. So luego estás en el último partido fue el día. That's my whole life, playing the game. It's like a drug.
I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning, right? I mean, they just do it just so freaking well to be able to play that, and you hear the ovation. He was able to take part in the ceremonial puck drop. And shout out our good friend Claire Lessinger from the Tampa Bay Sports Commission. We're going to have her on here in the next couple of weeks to talk about the women's Final Four. My God, man, they do it right. They do it right. And to hear the fans there for the ceremonial puck drop when he was out there with Victor Hedman, it was great. It really was. And then the Lightning go out and they win 8-0. It just doesn't get better than that. Now, after the game. So it's tough, right? It's tough if you're Mikhail Sergachev. You just got smoked. You know that the media in Tampa wants to hear from you about the video. And we were a little cautious as well because, you know, you don't want to disrespect the guy. We just want to hear what he had to say. We're not going to ask him too many questions. We just want to have one quick statement on what that video meant. And I know he did a TV interview, and I'm going to tell you this. You very rarely see this. I don't think you see this maybe in other sports, but you see it in hockey. The intermission reports, the intermission interviews where players go on the other TV station, it doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, it's amazing. We've seen it with Alex Killorn. I think we saw it with Stamkos, and we saw it with Mikhail Sergachev with Gabby Shirley. Like, that's really cool, man. And it's cool because it's the Lightning showing respect to the other team. Like, you don't get that respect, right? Like, people respect the Bolts, and the Bolts respect the other team. And I thought last night, if you follow the Utah Hockey Club on social media last night, like, tip your hat. They did a phenomenal job showing a ton of respect, shining the light on Mikhail Sergachev, knowing that there was an anticipation of him. They also, I tweeted something out last night about Ryan McDonough. Like, that is what it's all about, bigging each other up, lifting everybody up. I loved it. It was a really cool moment. 8-0 win. I know Jeff was asking about, like, what, learning things. I didn't learn too much from the Lightning last night. I think it was just another example of how they can put their foot on the gas pedal and beat inferior competition. You got to continue to munch points. I will not be there tomorrow at the game. I will be doing USF baseball against Tulane. I'm on the ESPN Plus side, so I will not be there, unfortunately, for the Ryan McDonough thing. It kills me. I was hoping that he didn't ask. I was hoping that he didn't ask me about it, and he didn't. But I was talking to some of the other guys last night. It sucks. It sucks that I won't be there, but it's just kind of the nature of the beast, and there's obviously other stuff that I have to do. But Mikhail Sergachev, so we spoke to him last night, and we were obviously very respectful, and he gave us a couple of minutes of his time. And here's what he had to say after the game last night. Again, we were trying to be respectful, knowing that it was going to be tough for him. Here's what he had to say after the game.
It's tough to talk about it right now, honestly, after a game like that. But I said in between periods, I really appreciate it. And it was, it's great. Thanks for the warm reception. Fans are great. Everybody's great. That was supposed to be a special night. Thanks, Sergy.
So they cut it off right there. He answered a couple of questions before that from the Utah reporters, and he was very upset about how that game went last night because they're trying to make the playoffs. He said they got punched in the face. It would have been a different contest if it was like a 3-2 win or a 3-2 loss, but to lose 8-0, like, Jesus, Sergy was a -4 last night. It's such a freaking bittersweet time, right? Such a mix of emotions. Like, shit, put yourself in his position. That is not easy at all to be able to deal with it, but just so great to be able to see him. When we walked out of the locker room last night, we saw him with Kucherov and Vazzy and Hedman, and it was just such a nice moment. Everybody was grinning ear to ear. And there was just a lot of positive things on the Tampa side. Another thing, Ryan McDonough playing in his 1,000th game. His ceremony is going to be tomorrow, and the reason being it's a Saturday. He's got the 3 kids. If you didn't see the 3 kids announcing the lineup before the game last night, again, Bolt's doing it right. and they left. Like Coop and everybody left, which was pretty cool. They just let the kids have the with their McDonough jackets on. It was so great, and he's just an awesome dude. He's one of one, and he's going to go down as one of the greatest Tampa Bay Lightning players of all time. And you may not see him when it comes to most goals or most assists or most points. You'll probably see him for plus minus, and you'll see him for games played. He's a great player, but an even better human being. And when you hear him speak after the game last night, you get that idea, and you understand that it's not just about him, right? It's not just about him. It's about the team, and that's why we love him so much. Here's Ryan McDonough after his 1,000th NHL game last night.
Just the effort the guys had all throughout the lineup, all throughout the whole game from start to finish. Doing the little things, blocking shots, taking hits to make plays, finishing on our chances. It was awesome game from start to finish, and a great recipe for us. Like we've said before, we're capable of some special things when we're committed like that. And you remember your first game, and you remember your 1,000th game. Because a big win like that helps for sure. Great night overall.
Game 1,000, 90 seconds in, you're on the score sheet with an assist. Did you have that on the board or what?
Yeah, I definitely took some of the nerves away. I was definitely a little nervous more than another game, but like I said, our start was phenomenal, and happy to chip in whenever I can.
We know how important your family is for you to have your kids announce the starting lineup. Your dad came in here post game. I mean, how much more special do you think?
It's awesome. And obviously, the Lightning organization has been so supportive since my first day of being here, and family is huge for them and for myself, and they love to create opportunities and memories for us players like that. Is so special, and like I said, my kids getting older now, they're starting to realize what Dad's doing every day when he's gone here, and for them to be a part of this night is really special for me and my dad also too, to all the sacrifice that he's made, and my mom, my whole family. It's a very special night, no doubt.
How efficient were these two games here, especially coming back to West Coast, just simplifying the game a little bit?
Yeah, simplifying and like I said, getting back to committed defense, keeping the shots against, chances against down. Clearly, we get plenty of offense, even though we're committed defensively like that. We've talked about it, we've preached about it. It's not, it takes hard work and dedication, and it's not just going to happen just because we've done it a couple of times here. We've got to be committed right from the start of the game and keep carrying that.
And with that, the 15 goals obviously going to stand out, but only one allowed in 2 games.
That's what I mean. We loved our, had the big lead there, but kept defending. Guys kept doing the right things in the third period. That's a group that's committed for one another and willing to do what it takes all the way to the finish there, no matter what the score is.
Ryan McDonough after the game last night, and I wasn't sure if I was going to play John Cooper last night, but I want to play Coop, what he had to say about the kind of the defense and Sergy and McDonough, because like Coop's the guy, and I was going to ask him this, and I'm hoping to get John Cooper on, and I'm hoping to hear from. I'm going to ask him this question one day, but I don't know. Last night, just kind of let him go and celebrate with the team. But just think about how many times in the last 5 years that the Lightning have had a night like last night, 1,000th game, a return video. Braden Point scores his 300th goal. Like, franchises go years and maybe decades without having anything to celebrate, without having any type of commemoration whatsoever, right? I mean, think about how long the Bucks went without having things like that. And now you see Mike Evans in his history making history there, and Levante David, right? You see those two guys. Those really aren't, of course, so it's Tom Brady too. But just a handful of guys. It seems like there has been a lot of different players for the Tampa Bay Lightning getting those return videos, whether it's Tyler Johnson or Andre Palat or Alex Killorn or Ryan McDonough, right? Steven Stamkos, or guys hitting milestones like a Stammer, like a Cooch, like a Hedman, like a McDonough. Like, it's crazy that we've been able to see all that. And the guy that's been behind the bench for it all is this guy, John Cooper. And here's what Coop had to say last night after the game regarding all of this stuff and the return of Sergachev and McDonough's 1,000th game.
Well, you just played these guys, a few days ago, and the game did not look like it did tonight. And it just goes to show it really matters the way you play in your own end. It does have an effect on how you play the other end. And again, like these games,
the last couple we've had here, this doesn't happen very often. And, you know, you have to have some breaks. You know, pucks have eyes for you, and they have for us a couple of nights, but we're doing the right thing. And it just, when you're doing that, and it's just constantly on repeat, good things are going to happen for you. But the big thing is how we're playing, you know, without the puck and inside the dots, and we're limiting teams the way we have, you know, the last couple. This is kind of a byproduct of that.
We've had so many of them over the last couple of years, but the video for Sergy, it seemed like it was just a fever pitch out there.
Yeah, that was tough. It was series that went back to back with Max. And, you know, we haven't had one in I guess it feels like a little while, but the Sergy was such a big part of our organization. And, you know, I couldn't believe, you know, Sergy always just seems like a young kid to me. And the fact he's played like 7 or 8 years here, it's mind-boggling to me. But he was, you know, he's got his fingerprints all over our Stanley Cups and the growth and progression of this organization. And he should be extremely proud. And now he's, you know, playing for an organization that's on the cusp, you know, fighting for the playoffs. You can tell he's a big minute, big leader over there. He's really going to help that team.
Again tonight, we saw Yorkie and Yanni playing very well together, and they were part of one of the goals. Do you foresee pairing them up as we continue through the season?
Yeah, one of the things when, you know, your post-trade deadline is the fit, where everybody's going to fit. So we've kind of moved things around, and you know, it's hard to say. We've played pretty well these past couple of games the way the line's been set, but I mean, we'll see. But I think there's you know, those two guys have, you know, they played together in Seattle, and there's familiarity there. So it's worked the last couple of games. So you know, naturally we'll keep this going.
1000th game for Mac tonight. You see some of his former teammates here today coming in town for the, you know, obviously the big event on Saturday. But you know, as great of a player he is, can you talk to just the man, the guy off the ice?
It's I think I said this before. You know, it's rare to be on the all quarter century team with one team, let alone, you know, 2 teams in this organization. And you know, that's Mac for you. He's, you know, he's a rare breed of warrior. He's got skill, he's got brains, and he's, you know, nails as a guy. And everybody knows it. Every teammate knows it. That's why everybody's here to see him. And you know, I've been pretty fortunate to witness 3 of these. You know, Hetty, Stammer, and now Mac. And it's just 3 class acts that when you're around that long, you've got some good qualities about you. Not only your playing ability, but you know how you are as a guy. And Mac, he's top of the list.
There you go. There's John Cooper talking about Ryan McDonough from the game last night. And again, just an awesome night all the way around. I told you yesterday. I know I don't usually love I told you so people, but I have to do it this time. I had a feeling last night was going to be special, and it was incredible in so many different ways. An incredible experience right now at Steinbrenner Field as the Rays get ready to take on the Colorado Rockies. Check out my guy and your friend as well, Evan Klosky. This is how it looks right now over there at Steinbrenner Field as they get ready for everything. Check this out. Look at this, man, with the Rays up there instead of the Yankees. Look at that. Oh, cool. Well, funky looking, man, right? Like outfield signage, Rays. It's different than Steinbrenner Field, doesn't it? Wow, that's pretty wild. Pretty freaking wild, but it's great. I'm so excited for baseball today. We're going to give you the starting lineups here in a little bit, but yeah, I mean, now is a perfect time for Team Tampa Bay. And I hope, and I want to shout out my good buddy Tom Krasnicki over on WDAE talking about how now is the time to be able to go out there and support the Rays. Now's the time because MLB is watching. Rob Manfred wants to know if there's a sustainability factor for baseball in this area. So it's up to you guys to be able to, you know, prove that it is or it's not. Is it going to be tough because of what happened with the stadium situation? I do. Do I think it's going to be ugly if they struggle out of the gates? I do. But can we honestly really just kind of let this go and just kind of be like, ignore this team? No, I don't think we can do that. Can't do that. There's good players on this team. You have one of the best young players, if not the best young player in baseball in Junior Cameron now. You have some really good pitchers. You have really good coaches. You have good bullpen. Obviously, we have to see what's going on with the offense. But I think another thing that's important to recognize and to understand is like there's a lot of good people too. There's a lot of good people in the Rays organization and the people that have transformed Steinbrenner Field from the Yankees, spring training and minor league affiliate to where the Rays are going to call home for the 2025 MLB season. Like that's really, really cool that they were able to do all that and to be able to make it work. And now, you got to go out there and support. I'm going to try to get out there on Sunday to be able to cover the game. Obviously, I can't make it today because I have my other responsibilities. And tomorrow I have the USF matchup with Tulane, but I'm going to try to get out there on Sunday to be able to cover that contest. But yeah, I think the Rays have as good a chance as anybody to be able to win this division. Shane McClanahan being down, I think if you lost a guy, and we had this conversation about the top 5 guys to keep an eye on when it came to the Rays season. And, Shane McClanahan was on that list. I have it right here. Caminero, McClanahan, Josh Lowe, Fairbanks, and Yandy. But out of all those people, when I look at who could they ill afford to lose, I think a guy like Shane McClanahan, and it's obviously not talking smack about Shane. I love him, and he's a phenomenal pitcher, but they've been able to have success in years past when they've lost top-end starting pitching. And it'd be one thing if it was another long-term injury. Right. We knew that his innings were going to be managed. I didn't think it was going to get over 150 anyway. I 125, 135. I think that would have been the goal anyway, to kind of like piece it together. Maybe deploy that 6-man rotation. Maybe that's the way you go. But now, especially because you're dealing with this nerve damage with Shane, and thank God it wasn't, a lot worse, because it really could have been. It could have been a lot worse. We've seen pitchers go off the mound and they're holding their arm like that, and you're just like, oh man, that is not great. That is not great. But he's okay, and it looks like it's just going to be a short-term thing rather than a long-term thing. And I think in the long run, this could help him. This could help Shane McClanahan. Maybe you backload those innings a little bit more, and those innings that he's pitching are now August, September, and October, right? And try to help this team go and make a deep postseason run. That us against the world mentality is going to be something that's going to be prevalent all year long because of the uniquity of the season, because we're looking at this team and going, what the hell's going to happen? This front-loaded schedule with all these home games, are they going to be able to jump out to a big lead in the AL East? It's division that could be one of, if not the best division in baseball. I think this could be that year. I think this could be that year where all of these teams in this division it's going to be a murderer's row. I think the Yankees are better. Like everybody always prays on the Yankees' downfall and don't want to it was even last year. Oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. They went to the World Series, right? So, I mean, to think that everybody's like, oh, yeah, they suck. They're not good. Well, just because you don't like them doesn't mean they suck. There's a big difference there. I think Toronto, that last-ditch effort with Vladdy Guerrero Jr., they're going to continue to try to do whatever it takes to keep him there. But I think he's got something to prove this year. In the contract year, I had him as my AL MVP because I think he has the ability to do something funky this year. And then we see Baltimore, what they were able to do yesterday. And with Gunnar Henderson and, Tyler O'Neill, right? Can he hit more home runs than just on opening day? And Adley Rutschman and Jackson Holiday. Like, there's a lot of good young players on that team. Boston, I told you before, they scare the living daylights out of me because I think they can suck, but I also think that they can they might be able to win it all. Like, that's what Boston does. Like, you just never can get a read on them. So Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for this division. I'm excited for this year because I just honestly don't know what's going to happen. I think we have an idea what the Dodgers are going to be, but I think there's so many freaking question marks all across Major League Baseball that I really don't know what is going to happen. I have no freaking clue. A lot of great things going on in the Tampa Bay area, including what we were able to see today with Coach Bryan Hodgson introduced as the new USF men's basketball coach today. What did he say? You know, I got some of the stuff. I actually asked him a question. I want to play for that. I want to play that for you here in a bit. But to be able to hear what he had to say, he said that culture is the accumulation of good people. And I thought that was a staple in a couple of the things that he said today. And I really like that because I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm going to play the last couple of minutes for you here. Because I think just as I said this before, just as important it is that he's a great basketball coach, he needs to be an elite leader of men. And he stepped up to the podium today. And a lot of people have been saying, it's a home run hire. It's a home run hire. Well, if he was a home run hire, then what he did today at this podium, speaking to everybody, this was a grand slam. Here's kind of the last 2 or 3 minutes of Coach Hodgson over at the Muma Center at USF. Whoa.
The elite energy enthusiasm remove. Efficient and structured, fire up their fan bases. I have never been a part of a coaching staff at the Division I level that has not finished in the top 50 in the country in offensive tempo. We will be aggressive, efficient, and structured while allowing good players to make plays without overthinking their every move. Defensively, we will be physical, disruptive, detailed, and most importantly, play with an elite energy enthusiasm. We'll be blue collar on both ends of the floor, and by that, I mean we will do all the little things that it takes to win basketball games. As far as my staff, I look forward to figuring that out in the coming days so that we can get to work. I firmly believe that culture is truly the accumulation of good people. And I promise you I'm going to hire and recruit good people. Core values. Being a basketball coach is more than calling plays and making substitutions. It's about being a mentor, a leader, and a role model to these young men. I'm fortunate enough to be taking over a program with a strong foundation, tradition, and history of winning. Our core values may sound familiar to you. I've chosen to maintain the core values that were set forth for this program by Coach Amir Abdul-Rahim in his honor. Trust, responsibility, unity, toughness, and humility. Amir embodied every single one of these traits, and we will honor him every single day when we step foot in this building by conducting ourselves in the same manner. As a coach, you have the opportunity to make a lasting impact on players' lives. Through unconditional loyalty and love, you have the ability to help them develop skills and traits that will serve them long after that ball stops bouncing. And to me, South Florida is the best place in the country to do that. Myself, my staff, our student athletes are going to spend a lot of time in this community, getting to know our supporters, helping others, and strengthening existing relationships. Community engagement is a big deal to me, and you can expect us to see us supporting the other programs on this campus, as well as interacting and engaging with the student body, and especially the SoFlo Rodeo. I will expect our student athletes to compete in the classroom as well as on the court, and we will uphold the proud standards of this university, both athletically and academically. We will strive to compete in this program while also playing at a high level. To our fan base, I'm asking you to show your support to these young men by being loud and proud as you have for the last several years. Each time we compete, both at home and away, we anticipate the love and support that this fan base has provided unconditionally. We will put a product out there that will make you excited to fill up the Yingling Center, one of the best arenas in college athletics. Thank you so much for being here. I know change is difficult, and I'm looking forward to developing a relationship and earning your trust. I can't wait to meet you and to get started. And with that being said, I can't wait to get to work, Go Bulls.
Unbelievable, man. Just unbelievable. I mean, nailed it. Freaking nailed it. I love the fact that he spoke about the community. I love the fact that he talked about being involved with the other teams on campus. And I love the most that he is not just going to bring up the name of Amir Abdur-Rahim in his press conference, but he's also going to take the torch from Amir Abdur-Rahim and to continue his legacy moving forward, and understanding that it's not just about being a good basketball coach, it's about being a leader of young men. In a situation like Coach Hodgson was in today, you can get into a scenario where you really are struggling with that balance, that juxtaposition of, I want to be able to do my own thing, but I don't want to dishonor the man who really made this place the home for Tampa Bay hoops, who just lost his life. I thought the way that Coach Hodgson navigated those waters today, it was flawless. Flawless. Because I got such a great sense of who he was as a human being, who he was as, his fiance was there, who he was as a father, who he was as a man, who he was as a coach. Like, I just got so much from listening to him. And that was just a couple of minutes. It was about 12 minutes and 40 seconds. You can go check it out on social media. Go watch the whole video when you get a chance. I loved the way that he was able to establish that he has his own ideas. He's his own man. But he also understands the impact that Amir Abdur-Rahim brought to this just entire community, and how he is going to continue to honor that and to usher in a new era of USF basketball that really just invigorated and it electrified our community. I'm so excited for Coach Hodgson. I think he was the perfect choice, and we're going to have him on next week on the program. We'll have Michael Kelly on next week or the week after. So have no fear. We'll be able to talk to him as well. And I said it to Michael Kelly on the way out, because I told him, I got to go get ready for my show. I can't stay for your press conference. I told him, I said, Michael, I got to run, but everybody was right. Home run higher. And I even took it a step further. And when Coach Hodgson spoke to the local media, here's what he had to say when I really kind to, take that next step and say, like, all right, great to be a great coach, but a leader of young men, how important is that to you?
It's the most important part of the job. I mean, obviously, Michael Kelly wants me to win basketball games, right? And so do I. But mentoring and leading young men is the most important part of the job. And if you don't think that way, then you're in the wrong business. We're with these young men at probably the most important times of their life, between the ages of 18 and 24. And there's a lot of change in that time. And something that I tell them on a daily basis is, you don't have to like me right now in this moment. I want you to call me in 7-8 years and invite me to your wedding and talk about your growth while you played under me and the staff. And I set it up there. I truly believe culture's the accumulation of good people, and we're going to strive to build a phenomenal staff and a roster of really good people that this community wants to be around on a daily basis.
Love that. Love that. It's a people business. It's a people world that we live in. You could know all these different things. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Think about your connections in life. That's why guys have success. And it goes beyond USF. I mean, you even go to the Rays, obviously, with opening day today. Why do you think a guy like Eric Neander is so successful at what he does? Eric Neander is one of the most down-to-earth, great guys that I've ever met in my entire life. And you've heard him, whether you listen to him on DAE or, just if you ever get a chance to meet him and shake his hand. I remember years ago, it was after just a normal practice day at the Trop, and Eric was there and Hein Bloom was there, and they just were both sitting there and just talking to everybody about just everything, baseball and life. And it's just, there's such a common thread with successful people. There really is. They're just engaging and helpful and smart and communicative and understanding. It just seems like Coach Hodgson is one of those guys. We know Kevin Cash is one of those guys. To be able to be as successful as Kevin Cash over the years, to be able to see what he's able to do on a year in, year out basis. That's why there's faith in the Tampa Bay Rays, right? That's why there's faith, even though there's a lot of crazy shit that has gone down over these last couple of months. Like, if anybody's going to be able to navigate through these waters, it's going to be the Rays. It's going to be this team with Kevin Cash at the helm. You earn that, though. You earn that benefit of the doubt. And again, this is like, when you have this conversation and you talk about everything that goes on with Stu Sternberg, I'm a big believer, and I've said this a lot, like, you don't deserve anything, you earn it, right, in this world. And especially when it comes to sports, like, you earn that benefit of the doubt. Where did Jason Light earn that benefit of the doubt very early on? No, because the selection of Roberto Aguayo and some of the mistakes that he made. But over time, Jason Light has evolved, and he's earned your trust. He's earned the benefit of the doubt. Why? Because there's now a track record of good decisions. Bruce and Tom Brady, and bringing all the guys in that helped them win the Super Bowl, to bring these guys back, to have these guys stay instead of taking bigger money elsewhere. Like, Jason Light has earned that benefit of the doubt. Same thing with Julian Breezeball. We had this discussion the other day about the general managers, who's done the best job over the last decade. There's no greater indication of somebody earning your trust than what the reaction was to Steven Stamkos not being brought back and signing with the Nashville Predators. There was a lot of people that have sided with Julian Breezeball. And this year, looking at how poorly the Nashville Predators have played and how Stamkos, even though he's had a decent year, it's not the same. It's not a 40-goal campaign that we've gotten used to. 23 goals, 22 assists, 45 points after 40 goals and 41 assists last year, 34 and 50 the year before. It's a different ball game altogether. But people looked at Julian Breezeball and said, we may not like this. We may not like that our captain's not going to be here anymore, but you've earned the benefit of the doubt. We got to trust you. So even though you may not trust like somebody like Stu Sternberg, unfortunately, because of everything that's happened in the situation with the stadium, we're very lucky to have a guy like Eric Neander, and they have a guy like Kevin Cash, and I have a guy like Kyle Snyder, where they've earned the benefit of the doubt because they have a track record of being successful. So when you're wondering, what am I cheering for this season? You want to cheer for people like Coach Bryan Hodgson. And you want to cheer for people like Kevin Cash and Eric Neander. It's not as hard to cheer for the Bucks or the Lightning or USF Athletics right now. I know for some of you out there, I was even having the conversation today at USF. Like, this conversation follows me everywhere. I don't bring it up to people that bring it up to me, but they ask about the Rays. They ask about the stadium. They ask about the vibes. They ask about everything. And, it sucks that we have to constantly have that conversation, but it's just the reality. It's the reality. It's the elephant in the room. But to a man and woman, we can all agree that Kevin Cash and Eric Neander and this team, they don't deserve any of that vitriol, any of that hate, any of that doubt, because it shows that they go about their business in the right way. And I point that out to you, and I keep pushing you in that direction when I say we got to support this team. No matter what happens, we got to make sure that we go out to these games, and we got to prove to Major League Baseball that baseball can work here. Don't get in a position where you're cutting off your nose to spite your face. You not showing up to a game to spite Stu Sternberg is not going to work. Doesn't matter. Because Stu wants to sell. You may think all these things. Oh, Stu could do this. He has to do this. He's the guy that owns the team. He's the guy ultimately is going to make that decision. And so the owners, like, you don't see owners. Remember, the commissioner works for the owners. You don't see a situation where the owners push a guy out that really didn't do anything. when it comes to like harming, we're not talking about the who was it? The guy for the Clippers, Donald Sterling, or the Daniel Snyder. And you look at what those guys did compared to what Stu did. Even though we don't necessarily love what Stu did, I mean, it doesn't compare to what those two guys did. Not even close. So don't do things just to spite Stu Sternberg. Don't have guys like Kevin Cash and Eric Neander have to pay for the things that Stu Sternberg unfortunately did to break some of that trust and to really harm the kind of, that community feel, right? Don't let that affect you. Support these guys. Get on out there. Steinbrenner Field. Again, I'm going to try my best to be out there on Sunday, and if I'm out there, you should be too. Did you watch any March Madness last night? Oh my gosh. I know it was tough. We were watching it actually at Amalie Arena as well. Our guy Ed Encina, poor thing. Maryland, they were hanging tough. Condon went down with an injury. It was like, uh-oh, here comes the door opening. But just in classic Florida Gators fashion, 6 different guys in double figures. And shout out to our guy, Bennett Anderson, scored a bucket last night. Tampa's own, Jesuits' own. Love the Anderson family. Carter Anderson, Bennett Anderson, Wilson Anderson, Mom and Pop Anderson. I love you guys. I coached Carter many, many years ago. And now Bennett's, a guy with the Gators that only gets in, when games are blowouts, but people love him. And Wilson's probably one of the best high school pitchers in the country, throwing 98 miles an hour. He has the fastest fastball on record. I think it's in the state of Florida, but it might be in the country at 98 miles per hour. He's scheduled to go to Mississippi State, but I doubt he's going to go to college. But the Gators just show why they're so freaking dangerous. I know they played 6 or 7 of their guys, 14 minutes or more. And the reason why, it's 14 is because Condon went out, but he should be okay moving forward. But you're getting in Brown, Anderson, and some of these other guys, which was good. But you look at it, 12 points here, 13 here, 14. Nobody had more than 15 points, and they still won by 16 over Maryland, 87-71. They get contributions from everybody. If it's a little bit more of a game where you need Walter Clayton to step up and put up 30, he can do that. If he gets 13 and a guy like Elijah Martin gets 14, like that's how they can do it. Florida is that team. They are the mixed martial artist. They are the George St. Pierre. They are the John Jones. They are the Anderson Silva. They can beat you wherever the fight goes. You want it to be a stand-up contest, they can beat you there. You want to go to the ground and wrestle and play the jiu-jitsu game, we can do that too. You want a game where it's a little bit more of a, up-tempo, get up and down the court, they'll love that. You want to slow it down a little bit, play a little bit more of a half-court game, they can do that as well. The Gators, man, they're going to be a tough out going forward, and I said it before, I've said it again. I think that UConn game might be the closest game they have the rest of the way. Shout out to our guy, Selton Miguel. He left USF, went to Maryland. He was in the game last night, 29 minutes. He was 0 for 7, 0 for 3 from 3. That's 2 straight years where his final game, he just really, really struggled. Your heart goes out to that kid. The other games, from last night, listen, Arizona was battling. I know Caleb Love really wanted to win that game against Duke, 100-93. Duke hit their free throws down the stretch, but Cooper Flagg leading the way. 30 points, 9 for 19 from the field. He was also 9 for 10 from the charity stripe. He kicks in 6 boards, 7 assists as well, proving everybody why he is the number 1 player in the country. But, watch out for Tyrese Proctor. Didn't have the greatest shooting night, but Con Kneppel's that guy for me. 20 points of 5-7 shooting, 2 for 2 from 3. He's just a knockdown shooter. Duke every couple years has a guy that can just absolutely shoot the lights out of the ball, and he is one of those guys. And Caleb Love did all he could, 35 points in 40 minutes. Shout out to him because he did everything he could to put that team on his back. It was just not enough. And Duke moves on to the Elite Eight, and they'll take on Alabama. They just made another 3 and another 3 and another 3. They were 25 from 51. Are you kidding me, Mark Sears? 10 from 16, 34 points. Our guy, Chris Youngblood, former USF standout. He scored 19. Aiden Holloway, 23 points off the bench. Are you kidding me? A 113-88 victory over BYU. A good year for the Cougars, finishing up at 26-10. And this is the matchup that I had in the East. Duke, the number 1 seed. Alabama, the number 2 seed. I think this is where Duke falls. I think this is where they get clipped. And the reason why is Mark Sears and Chris Youngblood. The devastating backcourt. This time of year, this is when you better have some experience in the backcourt to help lead your team to victory. That's going to be that's going to be my favorite game in the Elite Eight. No doubt about it. Texas Tech with an 85-83 win over Arkansas. That was my pick. I had you guys. You had the lead. God, what are they up 13 with 4 minutes left? Come on, Coach Cal. You got to execute. You got to finish that game, man. Good to see Carter Knox, Tampa zone. We were hoping that he was going to come to USF, but unfortunately he didn't. 20 points last night. John L. Davis, we know what he was able to do there at FAU. 30 points for him, just not enough. I thought that, man, I was just watching that game. I felt so smart. I felt so smart for a while there. Like, oh, see, I picked it. I got it. Yep, there we go. Didn't work out. Didn't work out at all. And the train rolls on, because you look at the games tonight. You got number 6 Ole Miss against number 2 Mississippi State. When you look at the schedule for tonight's game, that game is the first one at 7:09. The Sweet 16 matchup there in the South Regional at State Farm Arena there in Atlanta, Georgia. Michigan State, a 3.5-point favorite there. Then next up, that's a 7:09 tip. The 7:39 tip, Midwest region, the Sweet 16, Mark Pope and Kentucky, the 3 seed, takes on Tennessee and the 2 seed. I saw Tommy Chuck and Ronnie Knight Train Lane, a couple of Vols today. Can they take care of business? The SmackDown and the SEC matchup there at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Watch out those arenas. Thank you, Toby. Toby Hall just hit me up. Those football arenas hosting these basketball games. Watch out for them. The floor is a little bit different. Sometimes the depth perception is off for some of the three-point shooters. Keep a close eye on that. Michigan and Auburn, the South region, the other matchup in the Sweet 16. What does Bruce Pearl and the Tigers do to combat May and the Michigan Wolverines? That's a 9:39 tip-off, an 8.5-point favorite for Auburn and Michigan, as well as Houston and Purdue, the Midwest Regional right there. The winner of Kentucky-Tennessee plays the winner of Purdue and Houston, and then the winner of Ole Miss and Michigan State takes on the winner of Michigan and Auburn. Imagine if Michigan and Michigan State wins. I don't think that's happening. I think it is going to be – is it chalk tonight too, just like we saw last night? Man, Tennessee can score, man. But Kentucky, listen, Coach Pope in his first year there after taking over for Coach Cal, I think that's the only really chance for an upset. I like Michigan State, of course. It's tough to go against Izzo. I think Auburn's just – they're a bear in Houston. If you listen to the conversation that we've had with Rich Hollenberg, that's his team. His team is Houston. That's the team he's been keeping a close eye on the last couple of weeks. I don't deny that at all. So, yeah, I think it might be chalk again tonight. I know that's not fun, but if there is one matchup where you look at it and think, well, maybe this can be the upset, I think Kentucky, they're 4.5-point dog. I know some people say Ole Miss, that's only a 3.5 spread there, but I think that's the ripe upset there. 144.5 is the over-under. I think Kentucky could clip Tennessee, but I'm going to go all chalk for me for those teams that are ranked higher in the Sweet 16. And then before you know it, we'll have some Elite Eight action tomorrow. And by this time on Monday, we will know the Final Four matchups. Great. Also going back to USF, how about C.J. Brown, who entered into the transfer portal? He was keeping his options open. This is a kid that he had so many highlights this season. And I know that there was a lot of people that were wondering 5 days ago when he decided to enter in the transfer portal. But I kept hearing from a couple of different people that it's not such a foregone conclusion. He may be able to return. He may stay looking at what this offense can bring to his game and looking at Coach Hodgson and going, I can really get the most out of my talent there. And that's what happened. He turns around. He exits the portal. He comes back home. And you look at some of these guys that USF has already been able to bring in, these guys that were committed to Coach Hodgson at Arkansas State or guys that were transferring from Arkansas State here. I mean, he's a lot farther along in the game than I think we anticipated. And that is a positive sign going forward all the way. Who is ready for the starting lineups for your Tampa Bay Rays? Are you ready? Are you ready? I am ready. Let's get right to it. Your starting lineups for the Colorado Rockies and the Tampa Bay Rays. And we'll start first with your Colorado Rockies. They are the visiting team, so we'll show them some love right off the rip. Brenton Doyle, the center fielder. If you don't know about Brenton Doyle, this dude can pick it. He is one of the best defensive outfielders in the game. The 26-year-old, this dude is incredible. Fourth-round pick back in 2019. Very talented young man. Ezekiel Tovar, the shortstop, will bat second. Ryan McMahon, who has been a guy that has been discussed pretty much every year as a guy that could possibly be a trade candidate, possibly on his way out from Colorado. 20 home runs last year, 65 runs batted in. He will bat third. Yes, remember this guy? Chris Bryant bats cleanup. He'll be the DH. Just seems like years ago he was on his way to having a Hall of Fame career. Michael Tolia will play first base, the 26-year-old, 6'5", 226. Then we've got Hunter Goodman. He will do the catching. One of the best names, Nick Martini, the 34-year-old in right field. Good to see that. We also have Kyle Farmer. He's going to be at second base. And then rounding out the lineup, Jordan Beck in left field. Kyle Freeland on the mound for the Colorado Rockies this opening day. The 31-year-old left-hander, 6'4", 204, 5-8 with a 5.24 ERA and 21 starts last season. I love my whip statistic at 141. For your Tampa Bay Rays, told you I was wondering what this lineup was going to look like on opening day, and especially going against a left-hander. You never know what Kevin Cash and the Rays are going to pull out of the hat. Ryan Pepio on the mound, 8-8 with a 3.6 ERA and 26 starts last year, 130 innings pitched, a 1.15 whip. The 6'3" right-hander, 27 years young. This is going to be the lineup that the Rays put out there to support him on opening day. Curtis Mead. Yes, that Curtis Mead will be batting leadoff and playing first base. Yandy Diaz will bat second. He'll be your designated hitter. Brandon Loud, the second baseman, will bat third. And then there he is. Junior Caminero will bat cleanup and play third base. Christopher Morel in left field. Big year for him. You got to prove it. This is going to be your chance, Christopher Morel. Go out there and prove that you have earned that spot. He bats fifth. Danny Jansen will do the catching. He'll bat sixth. Josh Lowe bats seventh. He's in right field. I anticipate to see him higher up in the lineup against right-handers, but against the lefty, you bump him down. Johnny DeLuca in center field. He bats eighth, and then Taylor Walls will bat ninth and play shortstop. So we know, looking at this Rays team, how it goes. We know that lineup can switch, and just because a guy is not in the starting lineup does not mean that he is going to be out the entire game. That is one of the great things about watching this Rays team. They utilize their 25, 26, 40-man roster better than anybody in baseball. So I am very excited to see how they matriculate through these games. And hey, if the lefty comes out, righty goes in, what did they do? Excited. It is a beautiful day outside. I'm going to go out there now to kind of get my things together as I get ready for the Ryan Callahan Foundation. Again, if there's anything that you can do to contribute to the Ryan Callahan Foundation, please do so. RyanCallahanFoundation.org. And of course, cheer on our Rays. Lightning in action tomorrow. USF with a big matchup against Tulane this week. Softball as well. UT, we love everybody here in the Tampa Bay area. Big thank you to our guest today, Toby Hall. Told you it was going to be a little bit of a short show today because I got a lot of things going on. And of course, I know you guys are going to be locked in on the Tampa Bay Rays. All right, that's going to do it for me. The Jay Recher podcast resumes on Monday at noon. We'll be talking about March Madness, the Tampa Bay Lightning against the New York Islanders, what USF and UT did, and of course, the opening weekend for the Tampa Bay Rays as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hopefully for them, they come away with a sweep. Follow me on all social media platforms at Jay Recher, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. I am everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. I love you all. Have a happy, a safe, a healthy weekend. We'll see you on Monday right here on the Jay